everyone, so I am Madeline and welcome to KnittingHouseSquare, and today I thought it'd be fun to show first how I store my yarn and then also how I kind of go through my yarn. I typically do this like twice a year and decide what yarn I want to keep and what yarn I want to donate. Kind of just my whole system that I have going on. So right next to me I have all my yarn, or the yarn that I could find right off the bat. I'm sure there are a couple more skeins hidden. But my first rule that I generally have is that I live in an apartment in the city, so I do have to store my yarn in plastic bins just because it can get really dusty in here. And so the rule that I have that goes off of that is that I like to try and keep my yarn into these two bins. So you see up top I have this gray bin, and then down below, you can't really see it on camera right now, but there is a large green tote or bin. So you can see my yarn's kind of overflowing right now. So I have this bag and then this one as well, with more yarn. So first I'm gonna try and just go through and figure out what all I have. So I think I'm gonna lay it all out on my living room couch. And my goal is to be able to fit all of my, kind of like, I call them leftovers. So the smaller skeins that I've already used some of, but there's still a little bit left over. And then also all my fingering weight yarn will go in the smaller gray bin. And then all of my larger skeins and heavier weights are gonna go in the large green bin, because I do have quite a bit more of those. And then I also, I guess I kind of break my rule a little bit. And typically, let me move this one real quick. I keep my sweater quantities in this large bag that I've sewn, just so that I can kind of keep straight. If I want to knit a sweater, the first thing I do is I check this bag and see if I already have that weight of yarn, because all the yarns that I have in here are colors that I love and bases that I love. So yeah, this is kind of like, if I decide I want to knit a sweater, this is my first go-to in this bag. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out all my yarn by category and see what all I have. Okay, so I just finished emptying out both my sweater bag and the gray tote. This one's kind of the smaller size. And what I had in here was I had, this is left over from a sweater, so I have about 3.5 skeins of arbor in here. This is a sweater quantity that I haven't knit yet. So this is another thing of arbor. This is one of my favorite yarns. It's a dark purple. It's a little difficult to see. I had a bunch of Wool and the Gang, or not Wool and the Gang. This is We Are Knitters. And this was left over from a video, the Kristen Ritter video that I did. Oh, they actually sent me, update on that video, they sent me an extra black one in case I had wanted to finish that black section of that sweater, but I'd already finished the sweater, so it's just in my stash now. I have, right in this general area, these are all ones that I've previously used to knit hats. Like this is left over from hat, that's left over from hat, these are mittens, and then a lot of these are socks or other hats. Here's some more Wool and the Gang. Here's two things of veil. You can tell I'm a big Brooklyn tweed knitter, and this is one of my favorite Brooklyn tweed colors. So this color, let's see if it'll focus on just this. This is Cobbler. And this is the same color that I have all of this sweater's worth in. And then over here is kind of, oops, can't see my hand. That is a sweater quantity of, I bought this a little while ago, Hedgehog Fibers. And then I went through a phase of dyeing. So like this is a skein I've dyed. Sorry if you can hear the dog barking on the street outside. And then a bunch of these are ones I've dyed. So they're all sock yarn. So like this is a self-striping one I tried dyeing with the little minis to go with it. And then over here I also have this one, which is all kind of baby colors. So I previously knit a couple stuffed animals out of this yarn, but I just kind of like to keep it just in case I want to knit, or someone I know has a baby and I need to knit something. And then the final thing I have over here is I got this a little while back. It's showing up a little orange on screen, but it's actually like pinkish down to dark red. And then I also have this one, which is a knitting kit. I got it at Loop London a really long time ago, probably like a couple years ago now. I still haven't knit it, but one of these days I'm going to. It's supposed to make this a little elephant with a crown. So you get the crown yarn and then a little pink skein. And then all the fluff in here. Oh, there it is. So I think this is really cute. One of these days I'm actually gonna knit this. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to my large green bin, which is kind of gonna, right now I'm organizing by weight, so that's all my fingering weight. Well, those are just kind of all my leftovers. And then I have DK, and then that's bulky over there. So I'm gonna keep on filling in the couch. Okay, so I just finished emptying out the large green bin, and this was everything else that I just added. So a couple interesting finds that I had. First, found this little sweater. This is a baby sweater. It was actually the first sweater I ever knit because I decided that if I was gonna knit a sweater, I should knit a baby sweater first. So I actually forgot I've ever even knit this, so I should give this one to my mom to re-gift to someone. And then in there you'll see that I mostly just filled up this side of the couch. So there's a couple things right off the bat that I noticed. First is that I have a whole bunch of, I just kind of call these my Christmas color yarns. So any greens and reds. A couple of these are hand spuns that I've bought different places. So I kind of want to consolidate all of these into one bag. You also note that my my scraps are getting out of control. I know a lot of people knit scrap blankets. I'm not a big blanket knitter. I'm currently working on one. I've been working on it for years, or years at this point. So I don't know if I want to start another blanket. So for right now, I think I'm just going to try and fit kind of all of these scraps into 2 of these large bags, and then try and get a little bit better about doing weight. So maybe put all of my sock scraps in one bag and then all of the larger sizes in another. So that way, a lot of these, like especially in this one, so like this and this is left over from 2 at a time socks. So that's actually enough to make another pair of socks if I do contrasting heel cuffs and toes. So I'd like to know which ones I actually have enough of to knit another pair of socks out of, because that'd be great. Especially because a lot of these are hand dyed, so if you spend that much money on the one skein of yarn, you might as well try and get 2 pairs of socks out of them. Let's see, what else did I find in here? So you'll notice, as I just said, a lot of it is going to be the heavier weights over here. So this yarn is just one of them. I got this last year at Vogue Knitting Live in New York City, so it's the Rare Creature. And originally I was going to knit this sweater out of it because I thought this sweater was really cute, especially with the little tie and everything. But the pattern just didn't end up working for me. So I kind of now just have like a half knit sweater, and then the rest of the yarn is still in the skein. So I should probably figure out a better way to organize this. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through this yarn and pick out the ones that I'm just gonna say don't really bring me joy anymore, or I don't think will bring me joy to knit with in the future, and those are gonna go into my donate pile. So first I'll just ask some of my knitting friends if they want it, and then, or if they know of a home for it. And then if not, I'll look up places to donate that yarn. And then I'm gonna reorganize all the yarn that I do want to keep so that it'll fit inside those 2 bins. Because right now my 2 bins were overflowing a little bit, so I want to make sure it'll all go back inside those 2. Oh, I just noticed one other thing too. So this is remnants from, I tried spinning, but previously when I've done a clean out, I donated all of my fiber for spinning. So I just I probably don't need the spindle anymore either, just because I know this isn't really for me. But so yes, this will definitely be the first thing to go in my donate pile. But now I'm just gonna start sorting through all this. Now I've divided them up into all the fingering weights and then all the heavier weights. So like you can see in here, oops. So like these are all from 2 at a time socks. So I have a whole bunch of sets of 2. And so yeah, I think this would be great if I were ever needed a contrasting heel, cuff, and toe and I wanted to use this color. I think it would work out perfectly. So that's basically why I end up keeping all of these little ones. Or like this one. This one's a Hue Loco colorway. It's called Eskimo. So there's still plenty of yarn left here. I could probably get another pair of socks out of this. So yes, so now I'm gonna bag up each one of those 2 categories and then put that into my tinier bin for my fingering weight yarns. So my camera died on me a little while back, but I finished going through the yarn that I currently have and kind of creating my donate pile. So this time I have it's a large skein of hand spun red yarn, thing of Sweet Feet sock yarn, some of this Plymouth Select DK superwash merino yarn, my leftover Wool in the Gang yarn from that baby sweater, this little thing of Lana Vita. Let's see if there's, okay, so it's called Francesca. I'm not sure if that is, see if that'll focus. Yep, okay, so it's called Francesca. And then finally, my spindle. So I'm gonna donate all that, and now I just gotta add all of my worsted weight yarns. And then these 2, oh yeah, add all my worsted weight and heavier weight yarns into the green bin. And then finally take, oh yeah, you'll see it, there's a skein of yarn right there. But that yarn down there is already allotted for a special project. So now I just gotta take my 2 sweater quantities that I have left, because that green yarn over there doesn't have enough for a sweater anymore. So I have 2 sweater quantities, and then the rest of these will be accessories and things like that. Okay, so now I've finished condensing my yarn into all the different containers. So this one, as I said before, these are my heavier weights, so this bin isn't even nearly all the way full. And now I was able to stack all my project bags on top, and then also my extra stuffing. This bin is basically completely full because I do have this shawl that I started working on but still didn't finish. So I just tucked that right in there. And then finally I have my Eiffel Tower bag, which has my sweater quantities, and then this really cute bag right here. I actually got this for Christmas. Let's see if I can show off. Twill and Print is what this brand is called. This one has a little stuffed animal that I'm working on right now. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video and people found it helpful. It wasn't meant to be showy at all, just kind of show how I go through the process of organizing my stash every year. I found it's really important to do this like more than once a year if you can, just because you can just start collecting so much yarn, and sometimes the yarn that you've had for a little while, if you haven't knit with it already, I've found that it just doesn't bring me as much joy anymore, so I should just pass it on to someone else who will enjoy knitting with it more than me. We just see so much beautiful yarn that I've been knitting for a couple of years now, which is how I've ended up with these kind of 2 bins worth. But yes, it's always tempting to buy yarn, but I always need to remind myself that I already have all this gorgeous yarn. So yes, I hope everyone found this helpful, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!